So today the IMF had a meeting, International Monetary Fund. Jerome Powell was part of that meeting. It was something a lot of people were waiting for and anticipated. I gotta tell you, okay, I watched it. I don't know how many of you guys watched it from front to back, but I'm seeing something happening right now that we saw happening at the end of 2017. And it changed Bitcoin like forever. It has changed Bitcoin forever. I'm seeing the same thing happening right now. This is very important. No, this is not clickbait. This is not bullshit. This is for real. This is very, very serious. I watched that meeting from front to back. I saw certain things happening, certain parts of that discussion, and everybody is interpreting that meeting in the entirely wrong way. If everything happens that they said was going to happen in that meeting, if everything pans out the way it's supposed to pan out, that means forget privacy, forget freedom. You think it's bad that your cell phone tracks you? Okay, you think that we have it bad with this if you guys are paying attention to that meeting? This is nothing. It's nothing compared to what's coming if a CBDC actually happens. I mean, and they're pushing for it. They're absolutely pushing for this. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to Bitcoin as well. Because I mean, if you're watching that discussion, right now, you're asking yourself, if you watched it and you paid attention to what they were talking about, you should be asking yourself, why did the Bitcoin market act so positively to that news? Again, we're being sold. That's why. So before we carry on in this, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, if I get 1,000 likes on a video, I do a giveaway. I give away free money. So smash that like button. And what is ironic about today's video is a tweet that I put out yesterday. I said in 2017, everyone said when institutions start buying Bitcoin, the price will hit 100K. It's 2020, institutions are the largest holders of Bitcoin. Oh, and the Bitcoin price is not 100K. Why? Because the use of paper Bitcoin, they use paper Bitcoin to hold the price down. And that is no bullshit. That's for real. See, in the end of 2017, before I get too much farther in this video, let me explain something to you. Mid-2017, we started hearing news of institutions wanting to get into Bitcoin. True story, if you're around that long. By the time the beginning of Q4 happened, it was official. Institutions are going to start putting money into Bitcoin. Institutions are going to start playing in Bitcoin. Everyone was excited. Even Palm Beach Confidential. Palm Beach Confidential was putting all these buy recommendations and all these crazy things that you should put your money into and telling you Bitcoin is going to run up to $50,000. You're going to be rich. You own this much Bitcoin. You're going to be rich. I mean, it was crazy, crazy times. Guess what happened? When the CME finally launched their product on December 17th of 2017, when that product launched, and everyone us who were unknowledgeable at the time figured out the very next day, that day, that those future products weren't actually Bitcoin. Nothing settled physical Bitcoin. It was all paper Bitcoin. The price began to crash. We begged for that. And then in 2018, the narrative was, oh, well, now that they're in here playing derivatives, they're going to buy Bitcoin. They're going to buy Bitcoin. End of 2018 happened, and then all of a sudden they started talking about custody platforms, backed Fidelity Digital Assets, and all these entities that were going to come in and provide custody solutions for their clients to come in there and buy Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin. All that happened during that whole course from 2017, 2018, 2019. Everyone said Bitcoin is going to go through the moon. We're going to hit the stars. We're going to find a new planet. We're all going to be driving Lambos. If you own one Bitcoin, you're going to be rich. That was a song that everyone has been singing since 2017. Okay. Now we are here in 2020. The price of Bitcoin, as you can see, is still $11,685. You could have bought Bitcoin at $10,000 in 2017. You could have bought it for $20,000, nearly $20,000 in 2017. You could buy Bitcoin around this price range or within a reasonable margin of this price range ever since 2017 until now. In some cases, you could have bought it a lot cheaper. Yeah, in some cases, you could have bought it for a lot more. Marginally speaking, not too bad, right? We've not really gone anywhere. Today's price action, if you look what the price is doing over here, this right here, this hourly result is a result of what happened today at the IMF meeting with Jerome Powell and all these other bigwigs around the world talking about CBDC. And CBDC stands for Central Bank Digital Currency. Now, I watched this thing from front to back. I want to share with you guys a few little highlights about this discussion, a few little highlights about what they talk about and what to expect. Now, first thing to know, let me rephrase that. First thing to know about CBDC is China is first. Unanimously, they agreed upon that. China is first. China has put all of them in the dust. Now, a lot of you guys might say, well, that's because the Chinese right now understand everything. Chinese, they're pioneers of technology. They're the new Japan in the world when it comes to technology. I will agree with that when it comes to innovation of the Chinese people, okay? Not the Chinese government. I don't feel that way about the Chinese government. Something else that I want to mention about the CBDC, this is me, okay, I took a whole bunch of notes when it came to CBDC, but China's first, and here's probably the reasons why. All the chairmen agreed to one thing. The CBDC will give the ability to track the exact dollar spent by each individual. All usage will be traceable, and the technologies will be there for enforcement. Okay, do you understand that? So right now, if I took some cash, I don't have any cash on me, I never carry any cash. If I took some cash, I went to the store and I had to buy something for $10. There is no way for the US government to track that I spent 5 ones and a 5 to spend $10. Impossible. They can't do that. It's very limited as far as what they know, as far as what I bought. They can get a receipt and see that I paid $10, but they don't know exactly how many notes I use, right? With the CBDC, you get that end-to-end control, knowing exactly the amount spent. And something to go along with the CBDC? With the CBDC, it will create a new level of digital ID that will allow compliance enforcement, the information needed to enforce financial law. So that means when you start using your digital currencies and your digital wallets, and you no longer have to carry a debit card and all those things, you will have to go through something else. And this is me quoting them. CBDC, KYC, AML will provide levels of security and safety that could never be achieved in the current system. And with the safety and security will come financial interoperability. Will also mean legal interoperability as well. You see, that's one of the frameworks we're trying to work out right now, is if there's a digital currency. With a digital currency, you need to have the ability to enforce laws. And if everyone goes to a digital currency, you can actually transfer from one currency to the other very easy, just like a crypto, like an altcoin. They need to put that in check. They need to make sure that if you're managing or using their currency, you're using their currency within the perimeters of their law. And if you don't, you are subject to their laws. That is coming from this conversation today. So this is a reason why I feel like China is first. Because going to a digital currency gives you levels of KYC you can never imagine. And now you are completely tracked. Your spending habits completely tracked. And here in the US, for them to track your spending habits, they'd have the subpoenas. You have to be under an investigation. But with this new digital currency, there is no need for subpoenas. There is no need for a court order. There is no need to even think you're guilty of anything, because it's all part of the framework and technology that everybody is asking for. And China went ahead and jumped in on that first. So today when I saw this article and everyone's talking about the bombshell that Jerome Powell could possibly drop, well, he didn't drop a bombshell on Bitcoin. He didn't drop a bombshell for anything supporting Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. As a matter of fact, when you hear him spoke, the thing that he emphasized when it came to digital currencies was to make sure that digital currencies that do exist within the parameters of our financial law, exist safely and securely. And he also said, in the regards to CBDC, this is one of those situations for the United States to get it right versus get it first. And for him, safety, security, and compliance is what defines getting it right, okay? So knowing that basically, yeah, if you start using this, we can track your every move. We know everything you're doing, and it's confiscatable. The unconfiscatable aspect was something that they even talked about and said that it is dangerous and a threat to the financial system. Digital currencies are a threat to the international financial system. Word for word quoting one of the chairmen on that conversation. Now, Bitcoin is something that you have to think about here. When it came to the idea of Bitcoin in their discussions, one thing was very, very, very clear. It was not even talked about. But the fundamentals of Bitcoin being unconfiscatable, the fundamentals of Bitcoin being essentially kind of private. I mean, if you find a person's wallet address that's not private, all the transactions are on the blockchain. But the thing is, it still has a certain level of privacy. It has a layer of decentralization. That was something they spoke very against. That cannot exist. That cannot exist in the CBDC environment. That KYC and AML is a must. So when I see the price react like this, when I see a jump in the price, and I see people praising and cheering the idea of, oh, we're going to go digital currency soon. Everyone should be happy because that means more people are going to adopt Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. That is not true. That is farthest from the truth. Adoption of CBDC is not a good thing for Bitcoin, and it is not a good thing for the people who believe in decentralization, unconfiscatable currencies. It's not a good thing because the protocols, the infrastructure, right, and the international cooperation, not financially but legally, is dangerous to everybody who utilizes Bitcoin as a currency. The currency model of Bitcoin, I feel, is under a huge threat. I do, and I feel like our community gets sold by propaganda of digital currencies, propaganda of HODL, propaganda of it'll be worth a ton of money down the road to put the monetary aspect of Bitcoin, the cash aspect of Bitcoin in check. I'm telling you guys. We've seen this. We know this music. We saw it in 2017. So if Bitcoin hits $12,000 today, as a result of this news, if we see a $12,000 Bitcoin today as a result of the news that they plan on utilizing the digital currency, all right, the central bank digital currencies, in order for them to exist, we have to surrender more rights, that they're going to track everything that we spend, that we're going to be subject to the laws of the currencies we maintain. And then the price of Bitcoin is going to go up as a result of that. And you might be thinking, oh, it's because nobody wants a centralized currency, so everyone's going to pump Bitcoin. Go back and listen to that conversation because they specifically said all digital currencies will adhere to the necessary framework of law. Okay? I'm telling you guys, this is not bullish news. And I feel like the biggest remedy for these kind of situations is for all of us as a community to continue to innovate like we were in 2018. Like, I don't know what happened after 2018. The idea of creating layer 2 solutions to speed up Bitcoin so that everyone can spend it and use it, right? So we can use it as a currency, just disappeared. Does anyone else find that funny? Does anyone else not find that suspicious that all those layer 2 solutions are gone? You know what I mean? The discussion of Bitcoin as a true currency is gone. That I find troubling, especially after listening to this conversation. So, I mean, if Bitcoin hits 12,000 today, I'm just going to say this. It's for me, it's like losing your faith, not in humanity, but losing my faith in the future of Bitcoin's. I don't know. I can't say I think Bitcoin will always be there. I don't think it'll go away, but the philosophies of Bitcoin, will definitely be gone. It for 100%, it's going to be gone. You know, it's so irritating to me. So irritating. Now, let me share with you though, a reason why Bitcoin will, and I firmly believe this will take Bitcoin beyond 12,000. This could take Bitcoin to its previous all-time highs. I have zero doubt in this. I firmly believe that the next stimulus that comes out, the next multi-trillion-dollar stimulus plan that comes out, is going to pump Bitcoin to the moon. I firmly believe that. Why, you might ask, is because I saw it already happen once. We saw that stimulus money trickle into our market, trickle into Bitcoin. But here is something that, again, that I find a little bit like no one else is concerned about this here. We all buy Bitcoin, or supposedly buy Bitcoin, because we anticipate that the U.S. economy is going to fail and it's all going to fall apart. but then we will embrace any Bitcoin pump that comes our way so we can cash out that Bitcoin into USD as a result of printing more USD. Does anyone else find that a bit, I don't know, contradictory here? I don't know. Just you tell me. But listen, guys, we've been sold on this before. We've all been sold on this before. So you guys comment down below, okay? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think it's all going to be fine? Do you think CBDC coming into the game and them implementing digital currency is just going to prop up Bitcoin and boost things up? Do you think that it's worth giving up the freedoms? I want to know your thoughts on what I shared with you today, and maybe your thoughts from your own experience on watching that meeting today. All right, guys? So listen, that's all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Peace out.